Muniz, and my family moved into the Sun Valley in 1958, so I'm taking it way back then. And that was when the new project were the first people that moved into the one unit that we moved into. We moved into on 11th, the third row coming down from Federal, which was right in the pathway of at the top of the hill was what they called the creamery. We used to buy hamburgers there for 10 cents. But my parents used to send me down to get that, and I come back with the box full of hamburgers to feed the family and stuff like that. So that was pretty good. Mrs. Dunn's was also across the street. Over there, that we go over there, we sneak over during school and buy penny candy over there and stuff like that. So I remember Mrs. Dunn's, and also Thrifty's was there where we all went to. It was a little bit bigger school. Cordova's was a little bit further down, the next block up. Then going the other direction well, let's get back to the grade school here. That I remember the teachers for physical ed there, Mr. Otto and Ms. Gray and Mr. Colorstrand, all very good teachers. The principal was Mrs. Arnold. Got along really good with her, man. This is a great neighborhood to live in those times. It was all the kids would get along. They have playgrounds out there so we can all meet. And we lived right behind one of the playgrounds, which is really good stuff. So I have nothing but good memories from this area. So I came back to remember some of the stuff, and it sure brings back a lot of good memories. And looking across there and seeing everything knocked down kind of broke my heart a little bit. But I guess we got to move forward. What can we do? You know, all we have is memories now. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ricardo Laforea. I didn't live here, but I worked here in this very building from 1990 to 92. My title was Family Resource Coordinator. Mi trabajo trataba de proveer recursos para todos los familiares. The vast majority of my clients lived in the Sun Valley Housing Project. The others lived in Decatur Place. I don't know if Decatur Place is still there, but it was a place for young women in crisis, single moms. And one of the things that I inherited was the Colorado Shares program, which was a program that weekly provided food, fruit, vegetables, sundries, canned food, and so forth for families. And the other was a clothing program, which some of you may know that there are some stores that have clothing that's new clothing, but it has minor flaws. Anyway, I would get all of these clothes and we would put them in this auditorium, and people would come and take what they needed. Mostly people needed underwear, socks, t-shirts, and so forth. But probably the thing that I recall most is how happy I was living here. Then, as now, DPS didn't pay very well. And I still think it don't pay very well, but the joy that I got from working with these families more than made up for the poor salary. But one of the things that I recall mostly is that to the north of the parking lot out here, there was a huge empty lot. And I put together a community garden. And what we would do is we would mark out plots of 12 by 8, and anyone who wanted to plant a garden could come and do it. It became kind of the anchor to the community. And I hope that the garden is still there. And I hope that when the developers are doing their thing, when the people who are trying to change this neighborhood will recall and remember that this school is the anchor of this community. It's what kind of holds it together. And I hope that they will think about that when they do that. Because if Fairview goes, I think the whole building, the whole neighborhood goes. So please think about that. I don't live here, so I don't want to decide for people. But I want the people who do live here to have enough information to decide for themselves, to decide their future and the future of their neighborhood. Because when that goes, the communities have what I like to call a certain character to them. If the culture and the animo and the cultura that holds the community together goes, then we no longer have a community. And then this place will just become just another footnote in history. So I love my time here. I don't remember everyone's name. I think Tom Elliott was the principal at the time. Some of you may recall that. But the cultural events that I brought here were also things that I'm very proud of. Right on this stage right here, we had mariachis and dancers for Cinco de Mayo, which was something that gave people a lot of pride in their culture, and as well as parties for the kids, Halloween, Christmas, and so forth. I have in my mind some really great memories, and I love this community, and I hope that it will stay intact. And thank you. If anybody wants to see the pictures, I have some over here. So, si acaso quieren ver unas fotos que tomé en el año de 90, 92, cuando yo estaba aquí trabajando, traje muchas actividades culturales para que se acuerde el pueblo de dónde vinieron y de a dónde vamos. Y tengo mucho ánimo, mucho cariño para las familias y para los niños que nacieron y se criaron aquí. Gracias.
Thank you. So there was a mention of some photos, and part of this effort is to be able to build an archive, a collection of the community with photos that are meaningful to all of you. So we're going to have as next steps for this project to have a photo scanning day for you to share photos. So in that way, we as the History Museum can actually tell the story of the neighborhood in the way you want to tell it and how you want to remember through your eyes. But I think we have a little bit more people that might want to share. I'm just passing on the microphone here. So, great.
Yo primero. The elders first, ¿verdad? I'm Ernesto Alvarado. I was first introduced in the early 60s. I had a sister and a brother-in-law that lived here. You might remember Rudy Sanchez because he had a band. He was a blind guy, and my sister was blind. Remember Rudy? Yeah. He still ticks. My sister's gone. But I used to come and stay with him in the summers, and then the flood came in 65. And a lot of families moved out in 65 after the flood, and that's when they left the neighborhood. Well, I circled around in the 70s. Bob Pena was the social worker here for years. A lot of them remember Bob Pena. And I was an intern with him, and we wrote a grant. And I came to honor the name of Chief Gallegos. Some of you might remember Chief Gallegos. Now the grant was to hire high school kids. We chose Chief to be the director, to learn how to write the grant. Then we hired the junior high kids to be tutors that lived here. And then the elementary kids came here twice a week to be tutored, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 hours. And they got paid 50 cents an hour. So the parents got sure they came. Those kids did a heck of a job, and I hope it helped a lot of them graduate from Westside. Well, I left the program, and wouldn't you know it, they rewrote the grant, Chief in there, and they got $25,000. They did better than I did. So they continued, and so I just want to make sure we didn't forget those kids that did so much there. Also, years later in the 80s, I was the first director of Centro de las Familias on the side of Fairview Mental Health Center. We hired Diana Velasquez, the first curandera hired in the United States by the Mental Health Center. So we provided counseling services for this whole area. Bueno, so connected, it was sad because I came down the hill and it was gone. I didn't know it was gone. I know all the old houses are gone. But there'll be new houses and new people with new love, a lot of sharing. And, oh, some of the people I remember, wish I remembered all their names because they used to share their homes. They said that we never stole the homes to water our lawns. No, we borrowed it. They borrow it back. So good people. So thank you. Good to be here.
Hello, my name is David Roybal. I lived in the neighborhood for 1987 to 2008. Came back for a few more years, but I went to every grade here, from ECE to 5th grade. My biggest memory in here was in this auditorium when it would rain outside, and we wouldn't be able to go out, so we'd sit in here and we'd watch Lion King and Aladdin and all the favorite Disney movies. And I remember winning a scholarship because I had straight A's. I got straight A's here. I used to read college grade in 2nd grade. And while I was in 3rd grade, I'd do 4th grade work. In 4th grade, I'd do 5th grade work. And I would read newspapers, every page. And me and my sister, Avelina, we're here. And we grew up in the neighborhood. And some of our favorite memories is going to the church on Saturday, the Sun Valley Church, and we have this camp. It's called Sky's the Limit, and they come pick us up. They take all the kids out of the neighborhood, take us all the way to 120th out in Thornton. We have this little camp, and we do camp things, and we'd go out. And my favorite memories was with my Uncle Lauren going to the stadium, the Broncos Stadium, and I was 7 years old. And we would wait till the game started. We'd go to the scalpers and say, hey, you got any tickets? We don't have scalpers no more. That's the thing of the past. And they would just turn around and they give us all the tickets because they want to leave. So I was 7 years old and I was selling tickets. And I remember I was 7 years old and I brought $100 home. No, first I went to the 7-Eleven. I bought a comic book, a gallon of milk, and candy. The cashier told me, are you going to be able to afford this? So I pulled out a 20. I showed my mom the money, and my stepdad took it from me. So, yeah, we used to go to the stadium. We would get in for free. There used to be this little hole in the fence, and I was small enough to squeeze in there. And when the stadium was closed, we would play hide and go seek in the stadium, running around, and the security would be chasing us with a flashlight. And the same thing as McNichols Arena. McNichols Arena, everybody from the neighborhood would go there, and we'd hang around, and before you know it, somebody would pop the door, and we all would get in for free. And I remember when the Avalanche first came, because I feel the Broncos Stadium is the Sun Valley, is the history of the Sun Valley. McNichols Arena, and that's not brought up. So every time I watch the Bronco game, that's my home neighborhood. But I remember this guy had an interview in McNichols Arena, and he had a bruise on his forehead because a puck flew over the glass and hit him in the forehead. And he was so excited. And I just want to say about the Sun Valley growing up here, it don't matter what culture you were, what color, black, white, Vietnamese, we were united. We went here, I had Vietnamese friends, I had African friends, I had white friends, and we never seen any difference. But then once we stepped out of the neighborhood, we experienced racism. And that's one thing that we have. We might be the poorest neighborhood, but we're the most united neighborhood. And one thing I want to bring, that I brought up, is there's a lot of drugs and violence in this neighborhood, and I happen to survive it. A lot of people didn't make it out, and it happened in 2007. We had so much crime in the neighborhood that the community was fed up because they were selling drugs, nobody wanted to call the cops, they were shooting. And finally we went, and that's when we had Ron Thomas, the police chief now, and he worked with us to lower the crime rate and bring foot patrols. And I just feel that the Sun Valley, the Sun Valley represents that unity that the city needs to work with the police. Because we have a sheriff, Sheriff Paul is from this neighborhood. He used to do events for Christmas, Denver sheriffs and the bikers would give out presents to all the kids. And one of my favorite memories is growing up, we didn't have much for Christmas. We had somebody knock on our door for Christmas and gave my mom $200, gave her a food basket, and I remember that was the best Christmas of my life because we didn't have nothing, but we were just excited to have them give us something, and we didn't have nothing. And that's the thing, when you grow up with nothing, you learn to appreciate it. So I'll never forget the memories that I had here because it made me who I am. And I survived that and I came back. And when I got in trouble, I went to prison at the age of 18. But when I came back, I got involved with the Sun Valley Coalition. And we worked to organize to get the laundromat on Decatur there. We worked to lower the crime, and we worked with the Decatur place. And we also worked to get the Decatur Station area plan. And I'm still working with the community and the development of this. And I want to remember my grandma Edith Wilson that lived in this neighborhood for over 50 years. She had my Auntie Tootsie, my Uncle Chief, Lauren, John, Bona, and there was many others. But my grandma Wilson worked at Rudy Park when she was 80 years old, and she worked there for 20 years. So she was my mom now works at Rudy Park, but she was my Sunday school teacher, she was my daycare teacher, and she was also my grandma, but she would always have food out front. She would have bread and cakes she would get, and I remember as people coming to Miss Wilson's house, getting the cakes, getting everything, and I'm just thankful for everything. Thank you, everyone.
We have Roland saying a little bit about his memories of this building.
Hello everyone, my name is Roland Martinez and I actually went to school here at Fairview and I grew up in the neighborhood. I lived originally in the Las Casitas housing projects back in like the early 70s, and when they got knocked down, we got displaced, we moved over to the Sun Valley neighborhood, and I grew up in this neighborhood. I don't no longer live in the neighborhood, but it brings back a lot of fond memories, and I like to think that coming back to the neighborhood and trying to relive the culture and stuff like that is amazing, and all the people in the community that do stuff here are amazing. One of my fondest memories would probably be with the mural that was kind of painted over here at the park. It was a huge project between the two artists, which was Emmanuel Martinez and Carlos Sandoval, and they did a mural that was called Urban Dope, and it was basically, because in this neighborhood there was a lot of drugs and a lot of problems with people dying from drug overdoses and whatnot, and so the mural was basically covered up, and they are in the process of reliving, and trying to bring back the mural. If anybody has ever seen it, they know kind of what I'm talking about, but I think in the spring they're supposed to be trying to get the project up with the Colorado Murals to revise that. Other than that, some of the fondest memories was hanging out at Rudy Park. I still remember playing for the Rudy Giants, football team. I remember the boxing club, the Rudy Rockers. There was a lot of the neighborhood kids that would, get together and just, kind of hang out at the Rudy Center, and so it was a big, huge thing that kept us out of trouble, kept us busy. Art was a big thing, music was a big thing, and also sports and stuff like that were, big things. So that's pretty much all the stuff that I can remember, and I also am a DPS employee right now, and so I kind of heard as far as like the closing of Fairview and stuff like that, and I can relate to the community, and if you get out there and push for DPS to keep this school. This is basically the heart of the community. Everything around us is already disappearing. We just can't let that happen, and so do your due diligence. get a hold of DPS and, voice your opinions and stuff like that. And, do your part in saving this Sun Valley community. That's kind of all that I got to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Is there anybody else who might want to share a story? Fatima, that's fantastic. Thank you. And then we have a giveaway, the Sun Valley Kitchen and Community Center, who is our fantastic community partner. We are co-creating this experience all alongside with you. We have a giveaway, and also with some items, but also with some free passes for a day for the Family for History Colorado Museum as well. So.
Hi everyone, my name is Fatima. I moved in the neighborhood in 2015, and it was life-changing for me and my family. My favorite memories in this neighborhood is the open spaces where you have all sorts of different people from different backgrounds coming together and sharing their stories with you and their food and everything. And also, like, you're cooking in the kitchen and your kids are playing outside. I miss that a lot. Well, before moving in here, I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment that was really crowded and messy, but coming here was life-changing for me. I really appreciated that. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
My name's Mahamo. I grew up in this neighborhood too. I was born in I was born in this neighborhood. I went to Fairview. And I think just my favorite memories was just there's a huge African community here. And it kind of felt like everyone was just my family. And I think my favorite memory was just walking out after. I think my favorite memory is just being able to walk outside and run into so many familiar faces, and just walking down the street and bumping into my mom's friends and then just stopping and having a reunion in the middle of the street. And me and my siblings would always play hide and go seek in the backyard on the big field. It was just really fun. And